Lincoln, Nebraska. Some people think it's just cornfields and tractors. Others think it's the great hidden gem in the Midwest. And honestly, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Because living in Lincoln has got some really awesome pros. But there are also a few things that might make you go, wait, nobody warned me about that. So today I'm breaking down the real pros and cons of living in Lincoln, Nebraska. The stuff locals love, the stuff newcomers notice, and the stuff that might surprise you. But first, if you're thinking about moving to Lincoln, my name is Tim Woosley. I'm a local realtor here, and I help families and investors relocate to Lincoln all the time. So if you're researching the area and want help finding the right neighborhood, my contact info is down in the description. Reach out anytime. All right, let's start with the good stuff, because Lincoln has some really big advantages that people don't always realize. One of the biggest reasons people move to Lincoln is affordability. Now, before the internet yells at me, yes, prices have gone up everywhere. But compared to a lot of cities, Lincoln is still very reasonable. If you're coming from places like Colorado, Texas, Arizona, California, people move here and say something like, wait, that house is how much? You can still find great homes here in the $250K to $450K range, especially in family neighborhoods. And even our new construction homes are often significantly cheaper than many other metro areas. And no, you do not have to milk a cow before breakfast to live here. That is optional. Another huge pro of Lincoln, the commute. And I don't mean pretty good for a city. I mean ridiculously easy. Most people in Lincoln commute 10 to 15 minutes. You can drive across the entire city in about 20 minutes.
What?
If you're moving from a big metro where you're used to sitting in traffic for an hour, Lincoln feels like someone just gave you a part of your life back. Lincoln is extremely family friendly, and that shows up in a few ways. First, parks and trails everywhere. Lincoln has an incredible trail system that runs throughout the city. Second, great neighborhoods built for families. Areas like Yankee Hill, Fallbrook, Family Acres, South Lincoln are full of parks, walking paths, and schools nearby. And third, it just has a really strong community feel. People know their neighbors. Kids ride bikes, and yes, occasionally someone still leaves the garage open overnight. Although if you leave it open during Husker game day, someone might leave you a plate of food. Another big advantage to Lincoln is stability. Lincoln's economy is anchored by the University of Nebraska, state government, healthcare systems, insurance companies. That means the job market here tends to be steady, even when other cities are experiencing big swings. Now that we've talked about the good stuff, let's talk about the things people discover after they move here. Because Lincoln is amazing, but it's not perfect. Let's just get this one out of the way. Winter. Yes, it gets cold. Very cold. Nebraska winters include snow, wind, temperatures that make you question your life decisions. But the upside, Lincoln handles winter well. Road crews clear snow quickly, and the city doesn't shut down every time a snowflake appears. Also, every Nebraska resident owns a coat that looks like they could survive an Arctic expedition. That was bad. Another thing that surprises some people moving here, property taxes. Nebraska property taxes are higher than some states. Now, here's the important context. Homes here are often much cheaper than in other markets. So even with higher property taxes, the overall monthly payment can still be very competitive. When you're researching homes here, don't just look at the purchase price. Always look at the total monthly payment, including taxes. Lincoln is the second largest city in Nebraska, but it's still a mid-sized city. So if you're looking for huge nightlife, massive concerts every weekend, or 5 different IKEA stores, Lincoln may feel smaller. But for many people, that's actually part of the appeal. You get great restaurants, events, college sports, a growing downtown without the chaos of a huge metro. And here's something a lot of people discover after moving here. Lincoln is one of those cities that gets better the longer you live here. You start discovering local coffee shops, neighborhood festival, parks you didn't know existed, and before long, it starts to feel like home. So when it comes to the pros and cons of living in Lincoln, Nebraska, here is the honest breakdown. The pros are affordable housing, easy commutes, family-friendly neighborhoods, stable job market, and the cons are the cold winters, the higher property taxes, the smaller city vibe. But for a lot of people, those pros end up being exactly why they fall in love with Lincoln. And if you're thinking about moving to Lincoln, I help a lot of families and investors relocate here. My name is Tim Woosley, and my contact info is down in the description. Feel free to reach out anytime if you have questions about neighborhoods, homes, or the local market. And if this video helped you understand Lincoln a little better, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.